Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, dear strangers. Good morning to you. Well, I was going to see if we could live stream to YouTube today, but it is not available. Tis not. It is not on the agenda for today. However, mudras are. Meditation is. But let me go get my tea. Tea is already cold. Alrighty then. I guess that's just the way the morning crumbles, hey? Okay. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, everyone. For those of you new here, hello, my name is Deborah. I am a movement facilitator over at movewithchange.com. And Bhakti Bites are these little bite-sized sessions of self-care. Bhakti actually means devotion. So we here practice devotion to self-care. Because sometimes self-care is one of those things that's really hard to kind of fit in your day, and it's one of the first things to fall to the wayside when something else comes up. So these are about 20-minute meditations, 10 to 20 minutes depending. And we usually practice a mindfulness tool along with that. So this week we have been working with the Vishuda Mudra because of that amazing full moon we had at the beginning of the week, which was in Gemini. Gemini is associated with the throat chakra, so we've been working with the Vishuda Mudra, which is the throat chakra mudra, all week long to help harness the energy of that moon to help clear out our ability to communicate as well as our receptivity to communication. Good morning, Ryan. And the Vishuda Mudra, the throat chakra mudra, assists in balancing the thyroid. It also assists in relieving neck tension, shoulder, chest, thoracic outlet tension, and such like that. So, for this meditation, you can be seated, you can be lying down. If you are currently operating heavy machinery, please do not close your eyes. But if you have the opportunity to join us, join as much as you are able. Whether it be doing the mudra and meditation with us, whether it just be listening in, whether it be trying out the mudra and then going back to work, whatever works for you. I guarantee that if you hang around, you'll at least catch a little bit of this vibe. Good morning, Dave. How are you? It's warm, though, Dave. It's warm. And I have matching socks. I mean, come on. It's just that kind of day. It's a Saturday. All right? Okay, my friends. So let's dive right in. It's 85 there? Where the heck are you? 85? We're like, I don't know. It's not that cold actually right now. So all week long we've been sitting with the Vishuda Mudra, right? This is how you do the Vishuda Mudra. You place your hands back to back, and then you interlace your fingers, kind of just the tips of your fingers. You're not going to do it too tightly because you're going to close your hands over your fingers, and then you're going to use your pointer and your thumb to touch, creating interlocking circles here. Okay? So hands back to back, interlacing the tips of your fingers. Close your hands over your fingers and then connect your pointer finger and your thumb. Doesn't matter which one's on top, to create the Vishuda Mudra, to create 2 interlocking circles here. And then the Vishuda Mudra is held right here at your throat. So go ahead and grab your mudra. We will build on the meditation this week. So we began this week just by breathing, by listening to our breath, by focusing on the sensation of our breath as it moves through our throat. And then on Thursday, we sat with that blue light of the throat chakra and just kind of took stock and see how the quality of our throat chakra, of that color, of any sensation there, continuing with the breath. So today we're going to actually build upon that further and use the breath to clear out the throat chakra, both the front and the back of the throat chakra. So you can go ahead and release your mudra if you're already there. Place your hands on your lap. You can place them palms down or palms up, and we're going to begin our meditation by taking 3 deep breaths. So go ahead and close your eyes if it's available to you. Seal the lips and begin with an inhale through the nose, pulling the breath through the lungs and down into the belly. And sigh it out. Inhale again, lifting the heart and elongating the spine. And let it go with a sigh. Once more, inhaling to expand the ribcage in all directions, front, sides, and back. And let it go. Just take a moment to pause, listening to the breath, following your inhale all the way to the top, and following your exhale all the way to the bottom. Allowing the breath to sink you deeper into the present moment, allowing everything else to fall away as you bring your attention back to your breath again and again. Any thoughts arise, distractions, sounds in the room around you, maybe your phone's ringing. If you can keep from answering it, just bring your attention back to your breath, inhaling all the way to the top and exhaling all the way to the bottom. When you are ready, go ahead and place your hands in the Vishuda Mudra. Again, back of hands together, interlace the tips of the fingers. Close those over your fingers and then create interlocking circles by touching the tip of your thumb and your pointer finger together. And bring the Vishuda Mudra up to your throat and continue following the breath. Inhaling all the way to the top. And exhaling all the way to the bottom. Tune in to the sensation of the breath as it moves through your throat. Notice the difference between the cool breath of the inhale and the warm breath of the exhale. Following the breath all the way to the top and to the bottom, while noticing the sensation of the inhale and the exhale. Imagine that blue light in your throat. Notice the quality of that light. As you inhale all the way to the top and exhale all the way to the bottom. Again, tuning into that sensation of the inhale and the exhale, the cool breath of the inhale and the warm breath of the exhale. I invite you to imagine that instead of going through your nose, your breath is entering and exiting directly through the front of your throat. Focus on the sensation of the breath entering and exiting directly through the front of your throat. Continuing to follow the breath, the inhale all the way to the top as you pull the breath in through that blue light at the front of your throat. And exhale it back out the front of your throat, right through that blue light. Take several breaths here, just breathing through the front of your throat. All of your attention, all of your awareness on the front of your throat, of the sensation of the inhale and exhale directly through the front of your throat. Allowing each breath to nourish that blue light. You can stay here if you'd like. If you'd like to build upon this practice even further, I invite you to bring that same sensation of the inhale and exhale from the front of your throat to the back of your throat, directly behind the front of your throat, wherever you're feeling it on the front of your throat. Imagine that sensation on the back of your throat. If you can't feel that initially, that's okay. Again, holding your attention on the back of your throat, and as if you are looking for that sensation of the inhale, the cool inhale, coming in through the back as well as the front of your throat. Feel that gentle, ever so slight touch of cold. And exhale, feeling that warmth radiate through the front and the back of your throat as you exhale through the front and the back of your throat. Take several breaths here, imagining the breath moving in and out, inhaling and exhaling through the front and the back of the throat, continuing to nourish that blue light. If your mind monkeys are busy this morning and there's lots of thoughts bubbling up, simply allow those thoughts to rise and fall the same way your heart rises and falls on your breath. Bringing your attention back to the throat, back to the blue light, back to the sensation of the breath going in and out through your throat. If you feel any sensations, any discomfort in your throat or in your neck, allow that exhale to release that tension, release the discomfort. And to accomplish this, you simply just set the intention. Inhale the breath directly through the front and the back of the throat, and then set the intention to relax any tension with that exhale. Your intention is so powerful. Use it to direct your attention. To releasing any tension. To opening up the channel of communication. Naturally balancing the thyroid. Relaxing the muscles in your neck and your shoulders. Take a few more breaths here. You may stay here as long as you need. When you feel complete, I invite you to take a big, deep breath in. Hold at the top. Take a little more breath in. Hold. And release with a nice big sigh. Go ahead and gently release the mudra, bringing your hands to prayer or simply laying one over the other over your heart in gratitude for today's practice. In gratitude for that powerful prana that flows through our clear and ready channels, for this magnificent meat bag that is a conduit for that divine energy, that source energy, that life-giving force is always flowing through us and everything else in the universe. Offer yourself a little gratitude today for taking the time for self-care. I'm so fucking proud of you. You did it. And thank you so much for joining me today. When you're ready to come out of meditation, please do so slowly. Offer yourself some deep breaths, some stretches, maybe even rub your hands together and place them over your eyes. Only opening your eyes when you're really ready to come out of meditation, because that means you got to come back to the real world. Thank you, Ryan. Communication. That moon on Monday, early wee hours on Monday morning, it's all about communication, about radical honesty with the self. Hey, Mia, how are you today? Radical honesty, taking stock of our lives and our choices and the way we interact with, specifically the way that we communicate with ourselves and with others and with our life, with the universe, right? We're constantly communicating with the universe and with each other. We forget, I guess maybe not forget, we are very brain-centric, right? We're very prefrontal cortex-centric. We think that communication is a verbal, exchange, and that's how we communicate. But there is so much communication happening even underneath all of that, right? There is constant communication just between our energy bodies. Not to mention body language, right? The way that we hold ourselves, the positions we hold our body in, the way that we hold our face, the way that we present ourselves to people, as well as the way that we are experiencing our world internally, will affect our energy body. And my energy, if my energy is super frenetic and I go stand next to you and you're all in that peaceful, calm space, you're going to feel me. And honestly, vice versa. Even if my energy is all frenetic, I'm going to still feel the difference in yours. I love that that's fantastic, Ryan. You were in a choir in high school. That bodes well for your throat chakra. That bodes really well for your throat chakra. You're out there singing in your dream time. Here's my question actually, is in that dream, did you feel clear and capable of singing? Did you hit the notes, or did you feel like your voice was restricted or not working right? Or for me in the dream time, oftentimes I cannot speak. I cannot scream, I cannot yell, I cannot ask for help, I cannot speak. And it is indicative of a waking, not even just waking, an imbalance that I had for a long, long time with my throat chakra. Yes, your voice felt strong. Fantastic. Good. I'm glad. Gosh, that's a topic we haven't even started to talk about. The way that our chakras, our energy body affects our dream time, affects our unconscious state, right? We know that it affects us on a physiological level, because if I have blockages in my throat chakra or in my solar plexus or in my sacral, I'm going to feel those in my body. A blockage in my heart, or an imbalance in my heart, I'm going to feel in my body. We've all had those experiences where literally we can feel the heartache, right? Because there's an energetic center there, because that energy exists in us and is measurable, palpable, is a tangible thing, not a it's not a matter of faith, I guess. It is a matter of science, and there are amazing research, both modern research and old research has been done and being done on the chakra system and our energy body in particular. Not specifically this chakra, not only the chakra system, but our entire energy body. You're confused why you're in high school again, though? Thank you for the follow, Connie. What are your thoughts? And my first inclination, oftentimes high school or school, going back to school, taps into childhood, early experiences. And if you felt early on that you didn't have a voice, right, then having dreams that you're back in your younger years and you have this amazing voice, that, again, indicates healing to me. But that's just my interpretation. It's your dream, right? Hello, dog. So that is actually what we do. It's funny, it keeps coming up in conversation. That is what we do in dream journeying. So where you would go to sleep and just kind of whatever game gets played in your brain while you're sleeping, that's what you get to go through, right? With dream journeying, it is an intentional practice where it's a waking practice where you go into the dream state, you go into the unconscious state, the theta brainwaves, and you intentionally go through these experiences. You can intentionally go and revisit younger parts of self. You can I have gone back and had conversations that I needed to have with my parents that I could never have in real life, or with myself, to different parts in my life where I realized, oh wow, I felt scared, or I still feel uncomfortable, all of the things. All of the things that we receive from our early experiences. And I don't like to use the word programming. Hey, tapping point. Because I feel like programming implies an intention behind it. And maybe there is some intention, but really it's about our wiring because of these experiences, right? We have these early experiences, and our body and our physical body, our energy body, and our brains respond to these and really just do their best to keep us safe. To keep us safe and protected through this life. And they take that information in. Even in utero, when we're in the belly, we are still taking in information about what kind of food is out there, what kind of stress is out there, what kind of joy is out there, what kind, how much we should be worried about, or how much we need anger, right? The mother's experiences, affect our physiology before we're even born. And then those early experiences continue to build who we are up until mid-20s. Your prefrontal cortex comes online somewhere between your early and mid-20s. And it's like from the moment, right, from in utero through early childhood, we're being built. We're building this castle, so to speak, right? And relatively unconsciously. We are somewhat an active part of it and become more and more active as we get older, sure. But once we get that prefrontal cortex comes online and the capacity for higher thinking and reflection really it becomes something we're capable of. It's like being handed the keys, right? It's like being handed the keys to your temple, to your castle, to your home. And then you go into this castle or this home and you go, wow, this is pretty amazing. Oh, wait, that foundation is slipping. Oh, wait, the plumbing is all messed up and that bathroom upstairs is leaking bad, right? You get into this house and you're like, oh, it wasn't put together perfectly for me? No, it's a fixer-upper. Many of us have fixer-uppers. And so, I always think of it like this really beautiful opportunity to inherit a house, to inherit this home, this temple. Because, yes, some of it was built in this lifetime through my experiences in this lifetime, but a lot of it was passed to me, right? Genetically, just DNA-wise, right? Or early experiences, or just the energetic and personality and psychological habits of our early experiences and our parents and our caregivers, right? These all affect us, and these are hand-me-downs. These are hand-me-downs. Connie, dreaming about an ex and... Uh-oh. The dreaded and. Most of us get the keys to our temple somewhere in our 20s and then throw ragers in our temples, right? We invite all our friends in and we Jimbo, I thought you were trolling me. I saw that comment and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Never mind, I'm not even going to pay attention. But you're talking about this guy. Are you talking about this guy? Are you asking me if I'm afraid of him walking away? Yes, sometimes I am. Sometimes I think he might. And now you just instilled that fear in me, and now it's a thing. I'm going to have to tie a string around his feet or his toes together or something here so that if he does try, he'll trip and fall and won't get far. But then it'll spill my tea. For many of us, it takes us years. It takes us years to realize that we have the keys to our temple, and that, yes, it may not have been built perfectly. It may not be in perfect shape, but it's it takes us years to realize that it is our opportunity, it is our gift to be able to renovate, to build additions on, right? To repaint the walls and open the windows and let the fresh air in and the sunshine. Self-care. Self-care as well as self-awareness. We cultivate these things so that we can better care for our temple, become better stewards of our temple. Better stewards of our souls, I guess. Our bodies are stewards for our souls in this lifetime. Temples for our souls. And so I ask, how are you treating your temple? I ask myself this. Hey, Joy. I ask others this as well. How are you treating your temple? Imagine a place, a holy place, a place of worship. If you were to go to the temple or the church or the ashram or the any such place, right? And started breaking things, started beating it up, took a baseball bat to a pillar or a window, right? They'd kicked you out. They'd be like, excuse me, you don't treat temple like this. You don't treat a holy place like this. And someone would usher you out or pull or drag you out if they had to. But so many of us go into our own temples and treat our own temples like this. And then it makes sense why we allow others to come in and smash windows and, spray paint on the walls and shit like that and put obscenities all over, right? How do we self-talk? Those messages are being written on your walls. Hey, my dirty little unicorn. When we ask ourselves how we are caring for our temple, right? We talk about self-care and we go, oh yeah, I know I have to do self-care. I know I'm going to go get my nails done, or I'm going to have a glass of wine, or I'll do this little thing, but it's like a chore that we have to do for self-care. But when you use that imagery, when you shift the way that you think about it and look at this and go, this is my temple. I'm stuck with this temple my entire life. And the way that I treat it is a reflection, the way that others treat it is a reflection of the way that I treat it, and vice versa. If I model for others how they should treat my temple. And I say that also fully knowing that a lot of times and for a long time, the way that we treat our temple can still be unconscious. I might not be aware of the negative self-talk that I had going on. It takes time to develop that awareness, right? So no matter where you are in your path, no matter where you are right now, I invite you to let go of shame, to let go of blame, to let go of guilt, right? And just meet yourself where you're at. No need to argue about yesterday. No need to worry about tomorrow. Meet yourself in your temple where you're at. And take stock. And just honestly, right? That's that energy of this moon too. We got Mars and square Saturn, right? I think that just happened over the moon. Jimbo, everyday society makes it harder to navigate. The food, the environment, the politics. Woo-wee, right? I notice over the years, the better I treat myself, the more I remove myself from the larger, from the society at large. And that is because a lot of the things that we are sold in the U.S. here, because I can only talk about us here, is not in the interest of caring for our temple. Not at all. I mean, we were even talking about this too. It's like We choose to treat ourselves with things that are toxic to our bodies, whether it be alcohol or processed sugar or, other things like that. I was contemplating this the other night because I still, in the evening, will have a beer and a smoke. Just one, usually, of each. Sometimes, some other nights more, but usually just one. And it's like my closing of my day. It's like, okay, all of my things are done. I get to go treat myself. And I was sitting out there having this, and sometimes I meditate kind of, in the middle of it and when I'm having my smoke. And I got this such clear message of like, you've internalized the belief that and it wasn't even that it was okay to hurt myself. It was like I was internalizing the hurt that I had felt externally. Your lungs, in Eastern medicine, your lungs are your center for where you hold your sadness. And your liver is where you hold your anger. And what does smoking and drinking do? But depress both of those centers or aggravate both of those centers. So oftentimes we can use those habits, those cravings, as an indication. Good morning, Steph. As an indication of where we may be imbalanced. So for me, yes, I do carry a great deal of sadness that I work through every day. I carry with me and I put down and I pick it back up and I put it back down and I pick it back up every day. So smoking is one of those things that feels soothing because it treats where I'm holding my sadness. Does it treat it in a healthy way that will assist me in improving and healing this? No. Does it treat it in the moment? Is it like not placebo? It's like a painkiller, right? It treats the symptom, not the root cause. And that's what I'm looking for. How do I treat the root cause? And when I treat the root cause, the symptom and the need to treat the symptom begins to naturally fall away. And I say that because it's been years of me working on this piece to get that symptom to start to fall away. Rubbing the bruise just to know you feel. Oh, that's what I mean about that internalized, though, almost desire or belief that it's necessary or we deserve it or it's good for us or something to hurt ourselves. Hey Gigi, good morning. Simo, when this idea, rubbing the bruise just to know you feel. I've been in those places before where I felt so completely numb that I caused myself intentional pain to feel, to see if I feel. Oftentimes when we are in that place, we are actually so full already of pain that we are numbed by it, I guess. What's interesting is the ways that I have been able to redirect my energy in those moments is to tap into my feelings, to tap into the present moment, is mindfulness practices. One of my favorites when I am feeling, whether I'm feeling scatterbrained or deep in the dark recesses of some ancient sadness, whether I'm feeling anxiety or I guess It works for so many things. It works for so many things. So the practice is simply to look around the room and to look for each color. I usually just go each color of the rainbow because it's each color of the chakras as well. So look for each color of the chakra. And each time you notice that color, you pause and you just look into that color, almost as if you're absorbing that color through your eyes, looking around, finding red, 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 orange, 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 yellow, 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 yellow. Because it always brings you back to now, right here, right now. Yeah, hiding the razor blade metaphorically. I would say I don't know where the origin of that is, but I do know where the origin of that is, of this concept that you are not valuable by yourself, that in fact you are somehow broken or bad or wrong or by your nature, right? Like there's nothing you can do about it. You're just a dirty human. You're just a broken, silly human, and it does such a disservice. Humility, yes, is important, but also is self-care and also is self-love. And we're sold guilt and shame over humility. We're sold arrogance and narcissism over confidence. We're sold falsities to keep us clamoring for more. Because if we actually become satisfied and self-actualized, then we recognize we do not have the need for all of the trappings that they would like to sell us. A healthy, healed individual, capable, healthy, healed individual does not need for a whole lot. A broken, scared, guilty, alone individual needs very much. Reasonably so. Their needs aren't getting met. I think of this even in terms of food, right? Jimbo, you were talking about that. It's like even the food we eat it becomes harder and harder and harder to take care of ourselves because it seems like everywhere we turn, there are poisons, there are toxins, there are, whether it's for our body or our brain or our heart or our spirit. And I think we have two choices there. We can get really bogged down in the battle for trying to fight for a better environment, better food, better politics, better water, better schools, better all the stuff, right? And there are some of us who do a great deal of work in that arena. And it's also important to recognize that when we start from within, so much that we do not need falls away outside of us. Yes, that we can essentially transcend and I don't want to say just like material trappings. Like I'm not talking about just separating yourself from being human. No. Practicing discernment instead of judgment is a lot gentler on the body and the mind. It's hard to phase from I'm battling to I'm belonging. It takes time, and it takes effort in some ways and surrender in others, right? It's not all effort, it's not all fight to belong. In a world of excess, simplicity is enlightening. We come back home to our own temple. When we learn, when we realize that we already belong. I think that's probably the lifetime of work for some of us, right? Thanks, Boo Bear. It changes the way that we interact with the world. Thank you. Thank you, friend. It changes the way that we interact with the world when we have that grounding, when we have that sense of, I know I belong. I know it's okay that I exist in this world. In fact, I know that I'm supposed to exist in this world. I always really like to say, like, the unique you that you are, right? Your fingerprints are unique. The shape of your iris is unique. The prints on the bottom of your feet are unique. Your energetic signature of your body is unique. This magnificent meat bag, this instrument that you're given to resonate through, to allow your spirit, your prana to resonate through is unique just to you. And for you to exist is really improbable. Like, mathematically, that shit is really improbable. So that in and of itself kind of makes you go, like, wow, I guess I'm kind of special. Like, wow. Okay. When I start from there, thank you, Simo. Welcome. When you start from there, then we begin to approach other people differently. When we recognize, that our prana, our life force, comes from source, from spirit, from the planet. When we tap into the infinite resource that exists in the universe. We aren't constantly trying to fill an empty bucket. But when we're pulling from finite resources, this material world, like my partner's feelings, or my chocolate cake, or my cigarettes, or my job, or shitty food, or wherever it is that I'm trying to pull grounding and self-love and resource, just general resource from, these are finite. And you will constantly be clamoring. We will constantly be clamoring for more. You wonder how spiritual practitioners are able to go and fast for so long, walk for so long, right? There are stories of yogis developing superpowers, the superpowers of yogis, right? Because your experience of the physical world changes. When you begin to truly reside within your temple and realize how much power you really have to affect not only your inner experience, but your outer experience. And when we are constantly trying to fix our outer experience first, without finding the root, right? This is all the symptoms of the root. What are you watering in here? Because that is what will grow outside of you. How do you allow people to treat you, to talk to you, to the world to address you? It's a reflection of the way that you hold your boundaries, the way that you respect your own self, talk to your own self, protect yourself. Years and years and years of doing a lot of this work, right? Like I said, it's a journey. It's a lifetime journey. And I'm still finding ways that I'm I just seriously disrespecting myself. Like seriously fucking disrespecting myself. Holy crap. Like when some of those come up, I look at it, I'm like, oh my God. How could I really so unconsciously we do a lot of these things. Yes, kind of like the seed has all the information in it. Yes, that is a great analogy there. And again, I think we're sold this idea that we are powerless. That we are powerless to change our inner experience, that we're powerless to change our physiology. No, you can't. Your body can't heal itself. No. Shh. But it doesn't pad anybody else's pocket. So. Money is a finite resource, right? And it's just an exchange system. It's just a barter system. Somebody decided that those pieces of paper, cloth and paper, were the valuable thing. This is an agreed upon system. It is not the end all be all. I would even say that it's not even the best system, because of where it continues to lead us over and over and over again. Always astray. Because it's just another finite resource. Because it's just another symptom. Because it's just another thing outside of ourselves. Again, why is it that some of the most insightful, wise, spiritual leaders are not hugely wealthy, right? They're not rolling in their yeah, I know. Some do collect the dollar bills. Some do worship the green. I used to work at the end of life. I'm a death midwife and a reverend. And as a death midwife, I had the opportunity to sit beside the bed of a number of people in their passing, or at least in their final days. Not always directly in the moment of passing, but some. And I guarantee you, I can tell you for certain, that not a single one of those people was concerned about, oh, I'm so glad I made all that money in my life. I wish I had just made more money in my life. Unless those things are attached to the well-being and their care for other people. And the richest end-of-life ceremonies that I have ever seen were people who were building their own burial boxes. People who were carrying their own loved ones, bathing their own loved ones. True wealth comes from within. Again, I know it sounds trite because we've heard it before, but there's a profound truth in there. Yes, we do live in the material world still. So yes, there is a need for some level of attachment to the dollar sign, to some kind of revenue, right? But even in that vein, I need to be mindful of my relationship with that external thing, the way I communicate with and about that external thing, the way I communicate with myself about that external thing. Because the story I tell myself, because the relationship I have with that thing is going to affect the way that thing shows up in my life. If I am constantly resonating in a place of lack, fear that I won't have enough, worry that what I do have will be gone, constantly clamoring for more and more and more and more, because desiring more is the same energy as not having enough. And when that is the way that you relate to that external thing, to that just resource, cloth, the universe reflects back to us, brings to us what we resonate at. So if you're constantly screaming about lack of money, lack of love, lack of time, then you will continue to experience that. And again, I know some of these things sound trite, because they sounded trite to me 20 years ago. But over time, slow, sometimes arduous, steady practice, not work, but practice. I can see the evidence of that in my life. I can see the evidence of it in my life. The universe returns to me what I resonate at. And here's the thing. If all I've known is lack, how do I know what it feels like to resonate with abundance? I don't. The reality is I don't. So you might be sitting there like I was, saying, I don't know what it feels like. I don't know what it feels like to have that kind of abundance in my life. I don't know what it feels like to not have to worry about my bills. I don't know what it feels like to not be able to just go out and get something if I need it. So how am I supposed to fucking resonate at that? How am I supposed to ask the universe for something that I don't even know what it is? I don't even know what it looks like. How do I go find something? I don't know what it looks like. I don't know how big it is. I don't know where it came from. I don't know where it was last. How am I supposed to resonate with that, right? I invite you to shift your focus a little bit. Instead of worrying about resonating with that thing that you want someday, especially if that thing is something that you don't know what it feels like, begin by turning away from what you know you don't want. So this is where we talk about discernment, right? The difference between discernment and judgment. Judgment says, that's not for me, it's bad. And anybody who likes that is shitty too. Or, yeah. But discernment is to simply say, that's not for me. So because I'm still learning about abundance, experiencing more and more of it as I do this work. So again, I'm sitting here going like, dude, it's working. It's working. But I do it through discernment. I do it through that feeling of lack comes up. Or here's a great example. My kid says, hey mom, can you buy me this little thing when we go in the store? Can I pick something out when we go in the store, right? We're going to go to the grocery store. They always have a toy aisle. He wants to pick a little thing out. Typically, the words would be, sorry, son, I don't have enough money to buy you something. Sorry, I don't have the extra money. Sorry, and even to the extent if I'm in a shitty mood, talk about, I can't waste money like that. We can't waste money like that. I am speaking to the universe about my relationship with abundance. Does it mean I have to buy him a toy when I've only got $5 in the bank account? No. But there we go. Not right now. Or let's wait. Or soon, right? When we change the way we speak, and we're just talking about money here, but think about this in all those ways. When we change the way we speak about ourselves, when we change the way we speak about other people, we change our relationship with them, and we change our relationship with ourselves. When I change the way that I speak about having to do the dishes, it changes just on a very simple level. It changes the energy around that. And I afford myself the opportunity to have a different experience, have a new experience. And you know what? Your brain is actively seeking novelty. Your brain is actively looking for ways to bring something new, for growth, for expansion, for new information, for better understanding. Your brain is hungry for it. But we get so stuck in the grooves that we build that we define in our minds about things. Same thing. Working with end of life as a death midwife. The people that were still fully present, cognitively present, much younger than their body oftentimes, were the people who sought out deeper understanding. Were the people who continued to play, who continued to learn new things, who continued to put down their opinions or their judgments about things and approach the world with a sense of curiosity and willingness. When we approach the world, when we approach every situation, now I know this is hard because, again, it takes time to unwire. It takes time to change these habits. You can teach an old dog new tricks. It just takes some time. It takes practice. It takes persistence. It takes repetition. This is why we practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is a repetition of awareness, of calling in our awareness and saying, come back here. I know you're worried about later today, that meeting we have. I know you're feeling nervous. Just come here for a second and sit quiet. I know. You're worried about, you remember that last time 5 years ago where somebody did something that hurt your feelings, and for some reason right this second it's coming back up into memory. I know. Just come right here and sit right here with me for a moment. I know. You're worried about the present ache in your knee. It could be indicative of something worse, huh? You shouldn't have done that thing in the past, huh? No, hey, shh. Right here, right now. And right here, right now, that ache in your knee is just a sensation. If anything, be with that ache in your knee. Put your hand on that ache in your knee and ask that ache in your knee to be here now, too. And when we practice bringing ourselves to the present moment, we change the quality of time. Time and space are relative. You want more time? Spend your time in the present moment. When you are so busy thinking about walking through your day now, with your brain over there in yesterday and your heart back here and or your brain over there in tomorrow and your heart back here in yesterday, you're literally in 3 places at once. It creates so much dissonance right here in the present moment, right? Future, past, and present, all existing right here in the moment. But if I pull my attention away to tomorrow and I let my attention wander here to the past, I'm not present at all. I'm not experiencing my moment at all. My brain is not processing the information, my heart and body. Yes, we're experientially being here. But I'm pulled literally over multiple timelines. Literally and metaphorically, I guess. And time disappears. Same way as if you're in the middle of doing something that you really love doing and suddenly time disappears because you experience a different quality of time when your attention is fully focused on that task, right? Sometimes time moves very quickly. Sometimes time moves very slowly. We see it in our lives that time is relative. Why is it so hard to believe that we can intentionally shift our experience of time, our relative experience of time? And the way to do it is simple. The way to do it is simple. It's in breath, in body, in being, here and now. One of the simplest ways to get back into the here and now is to just listen to your breath. Just close your eyes and just go. And if your mind monkeys go, wait, I'm still worried about the thing, go. Take a couple of breaths until that mind monkey, at least for a moment, quiets down. Or don't do any of these things. Because the reality is, right? The reality is that I don't have all the answers, and neither do you. And honestly, nobody else does either. Not all of the answers. We all have bits and pieces of the truth. And collectively piecing them together is how we evolve. But there are lessons and there are gifts in every single path you take. And so if you choose a path of suffering, if you choose a path of lack, of frustration and anger, there are gifts in there for you. You will learn things. You will go back to the sky and be like, woo, okay, here's all my notes from what it's like to be human in that experience. Whoa. And in fact, I would even commend you if you choose a life of suffering and know that you actively choose that, because you do. To some degree, yes, we are choosing our experience. That can be really hard for us to take responsibility for, because there's also external influence on us, right? We are not responsible for anybody else's actions. We are responsible only for our own choices. And our own choices can lead us away from situations and people that are harmful. And sometimes our choices can lead us right into them. Does that mean it's your fault? No. But it means that you can change it in the future. Does it mean you should feel guilty and shameful about it? No. Guilt and shame never really healed anybody. But if you know that thing is not for you, and you don't want that thing, I just got this image of like, if this thing is right here, right? I keep falling into this pitfall. It's down the road, and I keep trying to cross, let's say I'm trying to cross this bridge, and there's a hole in the middle of the bridge. When I'm way back here, I know I need to cross that bridge. I know I need to get across, so I'm going to go towards that bridge. And if I'm not paying attention, I'm going to fall right in the middle of that fucking hole, and I'm going to get wet again. and I'm going to get back out of the river and try to cross that bridge again. Next time I go across, I know that hole is there, right? So maybe I'll try to go around the hole as I cross the bridge, but maybe I still fall in because I got too close to the hole. You could use this analogy and work yourself further and further and further back from that hole in the bridge. You could keep trying to cross that bridge and jumping around and over and whatever the hole. Or you could walk down the river and look for another one. Or you could build yourself a boat and just go across. Hell, maybe you could walk across the river. I don't know. When we look at life, when we approach life with curiosity and willingness, so many alternate paths open up. But when we believe that life is hard, when we believe that we are broken and shitty and whatever, then we're going to keep experiencing those things, and we're going to keep putting ourselves in those situations where we can fall into the river and get wet. Because we believe that's the only way. The only way for me to fix this problem with my partner is for us to scream at each other. That's the only way. The only way for me to experience abundance is to take it from somebody else. That's the only way. The only way for me to reach enlightenment is to medicate, overly self-medicate, use all of these tools and whatnot. And only that way will I reach enlightenment. You might pop your brain. It might feel similar, but it's not the same. Yes, it keeps confirming the belief. That is what self-fulfilling prophecy looks like. Within those self-fulfilling prophecies is the belief that that prophecy will be fulfilled over and over and over again for you. Again, when I believe that I am not worthy of love, my experience of love will not be of being loved, because I've already told myself and I've already told the universe that I'm not worthy of it. Even if you try to bring it to me, I'm not going to see it because I'm blind to it. I have made myself blind to it because I've convinced myself that this is the truth and this is the only truth. And because I have subjective experience and we are manifestors, right? We are constantly co-creating our reality and our perception of that reality. Because I have chosen that perception, that is mostly what I will see. And the more I lean into and dig my heels into that perception, the more of that I will see and the less of other opportunity and other possibilities I will see. I swear, one of the biggest superpowers that we have as humans is to approach life with curiosity and willingness. And the truth is, as a human, my perception is extremely limited. We know that humans, we can only see a small fraction of light. We can only hear so much sound. We can only experience so much from these limited little 5 senses we've got. That's it on the material plane. So I think sometimes, ooh, how audacious of me, how arrogant of me to believe that I am absolutely certain that this is the absolute only way in the entire infinite universe. This is the only way, D, to get to where you want. Are you sure about that? Yes, I'm absolutely fucking positive. I'm going to have to go trudge through the swamp to get what I want. And there's no other way to do it. While there's people over here crossing a bridge that I can't see. And if I don't see them going through the swamp with me, if I see them on the other side and their legs are clean and they're not all messy like I am because I went through the swamp, I'm going to be mad at them because they challenge my belief that this is the only way. And my identity is attached to the belief that I have to trudge through the swamp to go get that thing that I want. Yet all these other people are going around the swamp and don't have to do it too. Bullshit! Bullshit! They must have some superpower I don't have. They obviously can fly over the swamp. No, they've just chosen a different route and they can see that other options are available. Relieve yourself, my friends, please, of the belief that that is the only way for you to get from point A to point B. As fucking backhanded as it feels, we often choose our own suffering. I say the word often, but I actually mean just always. But it feels safer to say often. Choose our own suffering with attachment and desire and fear and these trappings of the material world. These finite experiences of emotion, we attach stories and judgments and identity to them, and then they become our entire reality. And you can surround yourself with beliefs, steadfast beliefs. One of my favorite quotes is simply, argue for your limitations, and indeed, they are yours. Argue for your limitations, and indeed, they are yours. That one hit me right in the heart when I first read it. Oh! Oh, damn! Okay. Yeah, what limitations am I arguing for? Oh, that I'm unworthy, that I'm not, there's no abundance in my life, that nobody wants to hear what I fucking have to say, nobody wants to hang out with me, nobody, like life is not going to give me the things I want, life is just torture, I'm just going to have to go through hell and high water before I get anywhere, right? Like all of these, argue for your limitations, and sure as shit, you're going to keep them. That's what you got. Argue for them. How about arguing for the things that we want in our lives instead of arguing for the things that hold us back? Don't buy the perceived buildable swampland in paradise. I think that's generally good advice, unless you're going to build on stilts. I mean, I've lived in places where the houses were on stilts, so you can still build on stilts. Just make sure it's high enough to account for the flood. It'll sink. Yeah, maybe not the best foundation. Yes, and the quote is, argue for your limitations, and indeed they are yours. It is a quote by Richard Bach. Richard Bach is an author who wrote Jonathan Livingston Seagull, Illusions, One, Running from Safety, and countless other books. I really love his style of saying very profound things in very simplistic ways. He writes fiction books, novels, some are short, some are bigger, but he is the main character in his books because these are basically, what's the word I'm looking for? These are his experiences in his personal journey, in his spiritual journey, in his coming home to himself. He has an entire novel about meeting his wife and the spiritual journey that it was meeting her, and the increasing awareness that was necessary, and the mirror that she became for him. I mean, he is on my internal roundtable. He is somebody who still is alive, who I would absolutely stalk, and if I found him, if I met him in public, I'd probably be like, oh my God, hi! Can I tell you how much I love you? And in one of his books, he actually talks about a fan who did that. And he was like, oh God. And I was like, oh no, I would totally be that fan. I would totally be that fan who would make you feel regret for ever putting out a book. Richard Bach. Again, that quote is, hey Sid, that quote is, argue for your limitations, and indeed they are yours. Or sure enough, they are yours. And in fact, they are. Argue for your limitations, and they're yours. The universe isn't out to get you. The universe isn't out to fight you. So if you're arguing for your limitations, the universe is going to go, okay, cool. It's your choice. That's what you want. Forest Meadow, you love Jonathan Livingston Seagull. I actually have Jonathan tattooed up here, and it's rare occasion, but I have had a handful of people in my life see the tattoo and go, oh, is that Jonathan? Instant friends, right? Like, oh my God, you recognize Jonathan? Hi, dog. Do you need something? Are you in need at the moment? Thank you, sweet dog. Come here, lay down. Have you read any of his other books? Forest Meadow? Thanks, Tripstar. This is Ajna. He is a blue healer. They call him a mini because he's only like 30-some pounds or something. He's pint-sized. And he's got big feelings. He's got very big feelings, and he usually doesn't like being on camera. Hi, sir. AJ in A. It's the same as the brow chakra because pure healers have a little star forehead mark thing up there. So we named him Ajna. He's very sweet. Got lots of feelings. Most huggin' dog I've ever seen in my life. Most huggin' dog. Huh. You like to hold. Thank you. Dog does not argue for his limitations. Right? Dog does not wake up and go, oh, I have to go outside again. Although maybe he does. Maybe he does at least look outside and go, ew, it's raining. I don't want to be out there. But at some point, he's just got to go pee. So he's got to go outside, right? I don't see Dog coming back in and then crying about how horrible it was when we were out there. We can be more like Dog. And approach life with that curiosity and willingness. The curiosity and willingness to experience. Curiosity about what's out there and a willingness to experience what it is, what shows up. You're connecting to the chakras, divine femininity primarily. Ooh, Shakti. Congratulations. It's some beautiful work. I have been working with the chakras. So for those of you just joining, hello, my name is Deborah. I am a reverend and a movement facilitator. I have been working in the field, studying and working in the field of human development and wellness for over 20 years now. And I felt like I was, for some reason just now, I was like, and my sun sign is a Virgo, and I'm 5'7" on my driver's license, but actually it's 5'6", probably like 5'5 and a half. I felt like I was giving you my profile or something like that. But my first profound experience of spirit was at 7. And I was really blessed with a lot of spiritual experiences very early. I was in church, found Christ consciousness in church, and left church because of other things. But my mother is a powerful healer. And so she taught me about energy and the energy body very young. Yes, I got kisses on my boo-boos, but after the kiss, it was then put your hands on what hurt. Focus that energy. She was teaching me healing. She was teaching me energy work and Reiki and how to affect my chakras and how to, when I was feeling nervous, how to open my sacral chakra, how to imagine myself surrounded by this beautiful golden light. She goes, imagine that you're safe and protected. And so if you're feeling nervous, I loved drama when I was young. I loved going on stage, right? And so she'd be like, and I'd still get stage fright. I loved drama, but ooh, and I shiver before the play started. Like I'd be like, no, I'm not doing it. She's like, come on, just take a deep breath and imagine yourself surrounded by that golden light, right? You're going to shine. You already do. It was a huge gift. So the chakras and the energy body are a language that I speak very intimately. I'm actually going to be putting on my chakra workshop again next year. So like January, February, I'm going to go ahead and put that chakra workshop on again. We'll be able to find that at movewithchange.com. That's my website, movewithchange.com. If you want to work with me directly, I do private coaching, I do private yoga sessions, I do private energy work sessions, I do guided meditations. We also have a very small but budding community over there. So if you want to go over to Move with Change and join over there, you can join. Right now, all of my classes are external here on TikTok, and YouTube, at Move with Change on YouTube too. Please go over and offer a follow over there. I'm trying to build the channel so that I can put a bunch of content over there too. But come the beginning of the year, I'm going to move all of my classes over to Move with Change. That way we can offer a lot of value and content to the community over there. So enjoy these classes here for the duration of December. If you would like to continue these classes, you're going to have to go over to Move with Change. If you subscribe here on TikTok, you get a month free to Move with Change. And you also get the subscriber only lives where we do Friday night astrology. Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, I got really lucky because again, but my mother also would tell me, she goes, "Do not tell them what you know. Do not tell them who you are." And she was like, "Or they will put you away, or they will take you away, or they will experiment on you." I was like, "What?" We have recorded history of a relative being burned in the fucking witch trials. So I think there's some family trauma there a little bit. Yes, Felicity, we are all light beings. The difference is that some of us have been taught that we are the darkness. And when we believe that we are the darkness, it creates this shell over our light. And coming out of that requires a process of chipping away. Right, Gigi. She knew they usually can't handle it. And it was a really interesting experience for me too, because it paralleled with a lot of the trauma I experienced very early on in regard to being able to speak up. I came from a lot of trauma in my home, and I was literally telling everybody about the stuff that was happening at home, about the things that were, and it was as if it was falling on deaf ears. And then God forbid I try to talk about that stuff, that stuff that was happening, the real problem, right? And it was like I was speaking a foreign language. But the times that I attempted to talk to somebody about chakras or energy work or spirit or how spirit is within me, I didn't need to go to church at the age of like 10. 12 when they do first communion, right? I left the Catholic Church after talking to the priest. I was like, don't need to be here. Christ lives within me. God is everywhere out there. God is in the eyes of every person that I meet. I don't want to sit in your church and listen to your interpretation of a book that I can read for myself. I don't agree with all of your interpretation. And I was really blessed to have a really wise priest who said, okay. And he gave me his blessing, and I never had to go to church again. Sometimes I joke that he probably just told my stepdad that I'm like the devil incarnate and he doesn't want me in this church. But besides that experience, so much of my experience was being unheard. So much of my experience was trying to communicate things that were really important to me. I started studying marketing. I went into film and theater when I was young, and in my theater or my film class in middle school, we started studying commercials. Because if you were going to make a commercial, you had to know how to manipulate your audience. And this quite insightful teacher sent us home to watch commercials and sent us home. And then we'd come back to class and we'd talk about the intentional manipulation in the commercials. And then, of course, it would bleed into, well, wait a minute, is this somewhere else in our society too? Is this in a bunch of other places? Like, is it just on the TV that we're being manipulated? Oh, shit. And we had these really great, expansive, mind-boggling discussions in middle school about how just because it's there on the grocery store shelves, just because it's there on your TV, just because somebody says it, doesn't mean it's true. And oftentimes, someone's trying to sell you something, right? I mean, even here, we've got the Bhakti Bites classes we do. I share mudras and meditations and whatnot. And there's a lot I share because I like to share them. And at the same time, I am kind of trying to sell you something because I want you to join Move with Change. because I am welcoming new coaching clients, because I love doing energy work, and because it's business. But there's a difference between doing that with intentional manipulation, and there's a difference between, and then there's doing that with honesty and forthrightness. I'm not trying to deceive anyone. I'm here sharing with you guys the powerful tools that I've been working with for years that have literally changed my life. I have, as I said before, I have been those places where there was nothing left, where it felt like there was nothing left. And I've been there many times in my life. And still, to this day, when I wake up in the morning, there is still that quiet little voice in the back of my head that says, I don't want to. No. Just, damn it. Another day. They have saved my life. Mindfulness has saved my life again and again and again. And if even just one of these tools helps you just one day, then it was worth it. Trip star, even Jesus asked to pass the cup. Sitting with Christ consciousness for so long, there are many, many times where I've asked Christ questions about those things of like, how did you survive? And also, how did you carry the weight of the world on your heart and on your shoulders? How did you hold, Because when we come from that place, and this is what he says, because when we come from a place of finite energy, when we come from the material world, when we give what we have only of our body, then we take from ourselves at the same time. It's a finite resource. But when we open ourselves as a channel to spirit, to source, to divinity, then there is a gain for both of us. I've been practicing energy work for so much of my life, and it is not a draining practice because it comes from source. If you're practicing energy work or you're experiencing energy work as a draining process, I invite you to work on that connection from where that energy is coming from, the source of where that energy is coming from. How did he look from that perspective and still love those people? Yeah. It's because of the divinity that flowed through him. Felicity, I'm just catching up here. So you do hand mudras, speak light language, and channel your guides. Yeah. So for Bhakti Bites, our classes here are Bhakti Bites. Bhakti means devotion, and devotion to what? Devotion to self-care. So these are little 20-minute, I start at 9 a.m. Pacific time, and for the first 20 minutes or so, 20 to 30 minutes, we do a meditation. We practice a mindfulness tool. Mudras have been our tool for the past number of weeks, and we've been sitting with each mudra and meditating with these mudras so that we can really sink into and really experience the full benefit of the mudra, rather than just using them as a passing, like, oh, I guess I'm meditating, so I might as well put my hands in that position, right? I guess that works. So we've been working on those. Probably because of those early things that my mama told me and warned me about, I don't call it channeling for myself. but there is a constant communication between my guides and I when we are doing these sessions. That's what I invite them here for. You're welcome, Tripstar. It would be noon for you on Eastern time. So Pacific, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, noon for you, Eastern. And that is Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday mornings for now that we are doing the Bhakti Bites classes. Friday mornings at 9 a.m. I teach a new class I call Tiny Yoga. Yoga for every body and every space. So especially if you have limited space or limited mobility, this is a really good class for you. But even if you have a fantastically flexy yoga practice on a full size mat, and whatnot, this is still a really great yoga class for expanding your practice beyond full asanas on a mat. So I really enjoy, and that's another 30-minute class. It's just keeping my classes brief so they're kind of accessible rather than being like, okay, I got to put aside an entire hour and a half for that other class and whatever. Yes, yoga is Friday mornings at, again, also 9 a.m. For you, it's noon. So Eastern time, these classes are noon. Western time, they're at 9 a.m. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Bhakti Bites, Mudras and Meditation. Friday mornings, Tiny Yoga. And then I also do a top 3 astrology on Friday nights from 5 to 7 p.m. That's a subscriber only live. If you subscribe here, not only do you get access to that live, but you also get a month free over at Move with Change. Move with Change is my website, and I will be moving most of my classes over to Move with Change. I'm going to sort the schedule out because I want to keep a lot of value over there for the community at Move with Change. I will still be offering public things here on TikTok. Like I said, I really love sharing, and even Jesus has to pass the cup, right? So there's that space there that supports me in this work. It's been a long, long time coming. I've been a reverend for 9 years and practiced in private. But this year, I think Source just kicked me out the door of my own temple. Was like, it is time for you to stop sitting in here and practicing by yourself. Get out and go talk to the world. Okay. Awesome. Bridget's daughter. Yes, definitely come. I have neurogenic thoracic outlet syndrome, and I'm hypermobile. So every single morning I have very limited mobility. I get out of bed like I'm 92 years old or 102 years old, and I make it over to my chair and I do these asanas or modified asanas in the chair to help warm my body back up and get my mobility back going. Miss Wanderlust. Right now, all of my classes here on TikTok are completely free. I also have replays over on YouTube. If you guys can, please pop over to YouTube and follow me at Move With Change. I'm just rebuilding that channel. And then if you want to join us at movewithchange.com, that is where all of my classes will be moving over to. I don't sell classes as individual classes. I sell a monthly subscription over there. So there's a couple of different options for monthly subscription. I have a private coaching monthly subscription where you get weekly private coaching classes with me, plus monthly energy work and whatnot, and then you get access to all the classes. I have group coaching as well over in Move With Change as so yeah, there's different levels. You can also, if you want to do, there's also a guided meditation subscription. So if you wanted to just get together for two private meditations a month, I do everything over there on subscription. That way we don't have to piecemeal stuff. You can either just get what you want. Yeah. Thanks, Tripstar. Awesome. Yes. So again, You can find me over at movewithchange.com. There's also an app for the Sangha, which is really cool. Again, sorry guys, the community is also called a Sangha. Sangha is just a community of people practicing mindfulness intentionally together, practicing mindful living. So when you go over there, you'll see Kaya Sangha. Kaya stands for come as you are, because that is the philosophy over at Move with Change. We value authenticity. We value you for the unique fucking miracle that you really are. And we want you to show up in that authenticity, because that authenticity is your truest expression, not only of yourself, but also through Source, Creator expressing itself through you, right? Oh, that's what I was saying. But we also have an app. So if you download the app Fit by Wix, you can search for Move with Change and you can join right there. If you just join right there, it doesn't cost you anything to join. You can become a member and I'll keep you updated on all the things that happen over there. And then from there, you can easily purchase a pricing plan. Kaya Sangha, C-A-Y-A, come as you are, C-A-Y-A, Sangha, S-A-N-G-H-A. But yeah, Kaya Sangha. Yes, thank you, Gigi. If you subscribe here, you get 1 month free over there, too. And if you subscribe here, you get that subscriber-only astrology live on Friday nights, which I don't give to my community over there, right? So I'm trying to kind of create spaces here where we've got this public space where you guys can enjoy free content. I'm really big about not gatekeeping, but I also have to take care of I also want to cultivate community in a safe container. This public space is not a safe container for everybody, and that's totally okay. But we also want to create that space over there. So if this is the content, you're enjoying this content, stay here, hang out. I am not pressuring anybody to do anything. I'm wanting you guys to know the options that are available, because if you want to be part of that community, if you want to get the free weekly coaching, if you want to learn about Reiki and herbalism and energy chakras and meditation and mudras and fasting and Ayurveda and herbs and parenting and all of the other huge stack of tools that I've gotten. Hey, Ashley, welcome. Over the years of doing this work, those are all accessible over there. You'll get bits and pieces here in public. If you want some replays and some content, you can go follow me on YouTube, and then you don't even have to interact with me directly. Good morning, Jersey Moon. Hello. Yes, Felicity. So some of you are also seeing the brand change that is happening. I keep meaning to make a video about it. I'm sorry I haven't. I've been doing a bunch of other brand changing things lately. I was working with another community throughout this year, and things have shifted. Again, Source kind of guiding me through my own growth, my own expansion, and my developing relationship with abundance. And it's been really powerful and really enlightening and really healing. So cultivating that space over at Move the Change is cultivating community over there. And I am able within that space to give you guys absolutely everything that I do. Here on TikTok, you guys get some of the things that I do. When you subscribe here, you get a month free over there, and you get subscriber-only lives here. And then if you want to, again, go over to TikTok or YouTube and just kind of watch replays and things without having to be in here, then you can do that too. I appreciate the follow on all the places. And if you want to just check out Move with Change, you can either go to movewithchange.com or you can download the app Fit by Wix. When you subscribe here, you get a link to the app and you get a code for that first month free. If you subscribe here and you don't see that, please let me know. I can send you I can send you a message. We did it just the other day, right, Ashley? I saw you, Ashley. I'm so excited. Speaking of the Sangha, right? We have our newest member right there. I'm so stoked. Thank you so much for signing up. And like I said, in January, most of the classes that I offer here on TikTok are going to be over there. I'm going to be doing a Kundalini Kriya come the new year. If you're not familiar with Kundalini Kriyas, Kundalini is, Kundalini is a lot of things. Kundalini is itself the energy body, is the movement of the energy body, the practice of moving the energy body. And Kriyas is translated to action. So Kriyas are really just I like to call them equations, Kundalini equations, because they're actions that bring about a specific outcome, and they are based on redirecting or moving the energy in your energy body. So this is not, it's not a new science, right? The Vedic sciences have been around for quite a long time. It's powerful, powerful work. This Kriya that I'm going to be doing is to be letting go of bad habits. Yes, it's the new year and we're going to be cliche as fuck. And we're going to set a new year resolution and do a Kriya to help support that New Year's resolution. Right, Jersey Moon? Kundalini rocks. It's really cool. So if you'd like to join us for that, that will be here on TikTok. That will be a daily practice. It's 40 days. So it's a 40-day Kriya, and I will be live every single day for those 40 days. But my classes will be over there. And look, the people in here is 40. Sorry. And so all the other classes will be over there in Move with Change. You'll be able to get to access to them on the app. I will continue to add content to the YouTube page. Yeah. Lots of fun stuff. Lots of really fantastic growth. Lots of expansion. I have been working all year long with discernment. With this tiny little practice of looking at my life and just saying, that's for me. That's not for me. Right? Let's do it like that. That's for me. That's not for me. That's for me. That's not for me. Instead of judging, instead of fighting, instead of shitty self-talk, instead of sometimes we think about manifestation as this kind of clamoring, that we have to pull things into our life, that we have to work things so hard for things. That I have tried to manifest before in this way of like, I was afraid that there was actual smoke coming out of my ears and I might pop a blood vessel, trying to manifest so fucking hard of like, I just focus hard enough. Then I'll call it to me, right? That focus, that intensity creates a disruption between you and that thing that you're hoping for. The hoping for it means that you don't have it. Damn it, I had it so backwards, and so many of us do. And we expend so much of our energy, and then we say, look, it's not here. That manifestation stuff is bullshit. Whatever. But in reality, right, it's what we resonate at. And as I was talking about before, right, how am I supposed to resonate at the level of the abundance that I really want in my life if I have no fucking idea what that feels like? I have never felt the kind of abundance that I am seeking. So how the hell am I supposed to ask the universe for it if I don't know what it looks like? I don't know what it tastes like. I don't know what it smells like. I don't know what it sounds like. I don't know what it feels like. I have no fucking idea what that thing I want is. I mean, I know what it is in concept, but not in practice. So how do I get that message out to the universe? I don't want to tell the universe I don't have it. It is the constant practice. Judgment is attachment, right? So let's not place judgment, because we don't want to attach ourselves to shit we don't need. When things come into our life, we can simply say, that's not for me. Or yes, that's for me. That's closer to what I want. Yep. No, that's not what I'm looking for. That's closer to what I want. Yeah. That. And when we start doing that, naturally the things that we don't need start to fall away. And it's this, right? If abundance is over here, the abundance is the sun, and I've got my back to the sun, looking at, I don't know, the cold, dark moon. I have to slowly, I don't know what the sun looks like, I don't know where it is, I have no idea, so I'm just going to slowly tick, 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 tick. My resonance, my experience, my awareness in the direction of where I would like to be. The whole time looking for where it already exists in my life. So if I'm trying to align myself with abundance, I'm going to look for ways that I go, yes, that's for me, that's abundance. Yes, that's for me, that's abundance. Yes, that's for me, that's totally abundance. Yeah. And then before you know it, it is fucking raining abundance. And you're like, I'm here, bro, I'm here. Wait, can this get better? Can this get better? Show me how it gets better. Okay, yes, this is all for me, and so is that. Yes, and so is that. Yes, and so is that. What you water grows. Yeah. You manifested money by drawing the Sri yantra and meditating on it. Yeah, I really like using yantras actually too, Felicity. I'd love to chat with you about those a little bit more. My experience, my knowledge about yantras is limited, but I'm learning, and I'm always curious to learn more. Tripstar, we are fluid, flexible entities. We are primarily water, after all. Indeed. And I would go one further and say we're primarily energy. It is energy that is holding the water and stardust and meat together in our meat bags, right? It is that energy that holds us in our shape, our molecules vibrating at a particular frequency to manifest this particular meat bag in this particular moment. And if I adjust my frequency, if I adjust the way that I resonate, then I can potentially change my experience completely, change my experience of life and of my body and of my mind and of time and of, right? Tripstar, I think that's an interesting statement. I want to sit with that for a second. You said, connect to the within and without. We connected to the body that way, I believe. Connect to the body, connect to the earth. Shakti does so much more work here than Shiva. It is my experience that being human means being the point of union between Shakti and Shiva, between day and night, between light and dark, between hot and cold, between black and white. We have Shakti of the earth, right? Mama Gaia supporting us, nourishing us, birthing us. And we have spirit, we have Shiva, we have the divine, the stars, the cosmos, all of that energy of the unknown, of expansiveness, of growth. And it is in the union of these two energies that we are manifested. So for some of us, Shakti is doing a lot more work in our lives. Yes, because we're leaning into the feminine, or maybe we're running away from the feminine, so Shakti has to come chase us down. And for some of us, Shiva is doing a bunch more work. And again, this is only one lens, right? I'm a reverend. I'm a non-denominational reverend. Hinduism is one lens, just like all the other religions are lenses for us to see our reality, that duality. We are the union of duality. One of my favorite meditations is a tethering meditation, where we pull the energy up from the earth, the energy down from the cosmos, and we bring it into our heart, and we allow it to swirl around in our hearts, and then we watch as it expands from our being, because that is what is happening in your energy body every day. Every moment that you exist, that is what's happening in your energy body. You wouldn't be alive if it wasn't happening. Just catching up on comments here. Shadow work, but that's the balance, right? The balance between light and dark is to need to do that. Shadow work, to face our shadow, to be present with our shadow. Yes, just saying you got to get good with Shakti before we can get fully good with the divine. Yes, you got to get good with your light and your dark before you can come home to yourself, right? You have to face your fears and your joys before you can find balance. So you're talking about, right, this pure channel. This is why I work with the energy body and why I lean so heavily on the language of the energy body and the chakras, is because so much in our physical world and so much of these misconceptions about how we interact with the universe creates blockages, right? When we ignore our instrument and worse, we fill it with all these finite things that aren't really satisfying us, you're gumming up your instrument here with shame, guilt, fear, feelings of worthlessness, disbelief, rigidity. Absolute certainty that you have the one and only answer, that there is one and only route to go through life. We gum up our system. And so that divine energy, that prana, that life force, that is our connection, yes, to creativity and manifestation. What are we doing in our lives? Creating and manifesting. We are these little reality creators, constantly manifesting and creating. And if those channels are muddied, what you're producing is not going to be as clear and as pure as it can be. So we work with our energy body. So we adjust our resonance so that we discern, right? So that we can slowly, incrementally move our way toward that which we actually want in our lives. Ashley, I know that I'm reading here. Sorry, guys, I'm catching up again. Try to be all-encompassing, understanding different aspects of all denominations. I think that, like I said, I left the church when I was 12. And at that point, I was going to go into being a nun. I was ready to go into a life of religious practice. But realized that I needed more study than I was getting in the Catholic Church. So I left and did self-study, a great deal of self-study, and looked and as a teenager started looking through these things and was like, wait a minute, there's a really similar message here in like a lot of these. How the fuck? Oh wait, they're just different stories of pretty much similar things. Oh. It does make sense. Love you too, Tripstar. Yeah, all that external conditioning. Yeah. So again, that external conditioning, it's our nature to come into this life and to be conditioned. Like it's what our bodies and brains expect. When you study child development, it is the reason it's this. It's called enculturation process. It's called the enculturation process. We adapt our culture and the habits and the beliefs and the whatevers from our environment immediately around us for a safety mechanism. Imagine that you're a tiny little baby and you don't learn to smile back and you don't communicate very well, and they look at you and they go, there's something wrong. And they take you to the doctor. This one's broken. What's wrong with this one? Why is it not in my image? It's just broken. And once upon a time, if we were broken like that, we got left behind. We didn't survive. Because we're pack animals. So you got to fit into the pack. So we need this enculturation process so we fit into the pack. And then we have a lifetime to undo and redo and rebuild that temple. Uh-oh, Gigi. Try it again. Did you try it again? Oh, no, I see it here, hon. The one where you said you got a minors in religious studies because of that. You wanted to explore it. I see it. In beyond. You said you do believe in God. You do believe God is in all things, and most religions lead to the same God, but still exploring. Yeah. Sorry, for a second I thought you said God is still exploring. And that is what I personally had discovered in my practice, is that part of coming closer to God is that exploration, is that approaching life with curiosity and willingness to discover and to learn, because I do not know all that Source knows. I do not know all that higher power knows, and I never will know all that higher power knows, right? So I'm in a perpetual state of curiosity and willingness because I would like to grow and I would like to learn. Please enlighten me, right? Hey, Eric. But one of my favorite quotes from, another favorite quote from a song, actually, it just simply goes, if you don't see God in all, you won't see God at all. And it lends itself to that understanding that Source is the energy that flows through all things, through all things. Okay, sorry. If you don't see God at all, you won't see God at all, at all. If you don't see God in all, you won't see God at all, at all. Sat, garata, sat, garata. That means I also have to see God in me. It means I also have to see divinity in me. That means if I look in the mirror and complain about myself, if I say to myself how terrible and shameful I am I not also speaking to God? I am a piece of. I am not arrogant enough to believe that, to think that I am God. No. No, no, no. I am not even a guru, right? Not for anybody else but myself. You are your own guru. You are the one who leads you from darkness to light. That light that already resides within you. There's the cosmic punchline, Ryan, you were asking for earlier. The cosmic punchline is you spend your entire life looking outside of you, being stuck with these eyes on the front of your face, being stuck with subjective experience, so that you're looking constantly everywhere for all the answers and everything. And it's right here. It's right fucking here. The whole time? The whole time? Yeah. We could be God. We could be Jesus. But we are what we are, right? I am what I am, and that's all that I am. And I don't even know what I am. I don't have all the answers. I might be a yam. I might just be a yam. I could be a yam. I like the color orange. And I accept that I do not know what I am. I accept that I am always learning what and who I am. I am always discovering who I am every day. Every morning I wake up and meet myself again. Hey, Marta. I always say that it's actually curiosity. The old saying, curiosity killed the cat, is backwards. I was like, no, 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 no. It's actually curiosity that keeps this cat alive, because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know who I'm going to meet tomorrow. I don't know what source will bring me tomorrow. Tomorrow, everything can change. Tomorrow, everything. Could be healed. Tomorrow may be when the shackles finally come off, when the truth finally comes out, when that gift finally arrives. Got to stick around for it. It will be worth it, yeah, right? And if the universe brings a gift to my door and it's the wrong size and the wrong color, it's okay for me to say, yeah, that's not for me. Thanks. It's not for me. Thanks for the follow, Randall. Ashley, thank you so much for your kind reflection, my friend. We are all just mirrors for each other. We're all just mirrors for ourselves, for each other. I am another you. Just a different facet of the same gem. And when I share my perspective and you share your perspective, I get the unique opportunity to stand at another part of this gem, right? Yeah. In philosophy, there's a philosophical unanswerable about consciousness and subjective experience. Why do we have this illusion of subjective experience? Why do we believe that we are stuck in subjective experience? Are we actually, or are we not? Or is it just a misconception of the brain? Is there some, puppeteering something or other that's giving us the illusion of this isolation in here in our subjective experience? But I really believe that, again, in my own exploration, I have come to understand it that for two reasons. One, it reminds us that this is where the truth is. This is where God is. This is where reality is. This is where everything I need is. It serves as that reminder that I actually exist within here. And as much as I want to play in the material world and interact with it, great. But I actually exist. I reside within this temple. And second, it serves as a perpetual barrier to me completely finding out all the answers outside of myself. Again, kind of a cosmic joke, cosmic game. Okay, you're stuck in this one body, but now I want you to figure out the nature of everybody. Good luck. Don't lose your mind in the process. And in the process, we find that everybody is also in this body. Hey, Kimber. I know you guys, those of you who hung around for a while, you've also heard me say the analogy of if you imagine humanity like a body, right? We need every part of the body for humanity to function. We need the eyes to see the truth. We need the ears to listen. We need the shoulders to cry on. We need the arms to lift heavy things or to hold us gently. We need the feet to carry us forward. We need the hips to dance. And yes, we also need the smelly armpits to get rid of toxins in our body. We also need the taint in the asshole to process that stuff too. So remember, when the universe brings you something to your door that doesn't quite smell right, nah, I don't want to be the asshole today. Nope, no, not feeling it. It's not for me. Eric, don't make me get on that topic again. Like, we're going to have a very serious discussion with all of you guys on TikTok about whether or not you sit on your farts, okay? Like, that's a whole nother, and yes, Ashley, I believe we can tap into that and further expand consciousness beyond the material yes. And that's the point. Right? But we can't expand our consciousness beyond the material by going outside of ourselves. We have to go within ourselves to expand beyond the material. So again, that's an indication, right? That we have that inside, within is where we go for those answers. I knew you were a shapeshifter, Brian. Thank you, Gigi. Exactly. That's why I tilt. Did you really, Kimber? We about to connect farts to the divine, aren't we? Fair warning, there's shenanigans afoot. So I made a video the other day because I had this discussion with my son. I had some gas. We were playing a game, and I tilted. And he was like, "What are you doing? What are you, like, making a show about it? Like, why are you tilting?" And I was like, "Well, you know what happens when you've got a Nerf gun, right? If you take the Nerf gun and you point it down towards the floor of the table, right? What happens to the bullet? Gets stuck in there." I said, "I don't want that to happen to my farts, so I lean." Yeah, it was great. You can watch the entire conversation on my profile. Thank you, Eric. Everything has energy, even those farts, and when my body tells me that I do not need this thing anymore, whatever that is that's festering, I'm going to let it out. And I'm going to make sure it has plenty of room to leave. That's not for me. Thank you. Not for me. Thank you. Although he did, yes, Ryan, he did inform me that I didn't need to lean because that's what the butt crack is for. So, my 7-year-old solved the riddle. The crack is the avenue of release. Now you know, in case you were curious or worried. No need to tilt. I'm still gonna tilt. All right, my friends. It is after 11:11. They are our greatest support. It's not for me, it's for everyone else in the room. Ashley! We do go that route here. So when he was little... Wait. You guys are learning a lot about me as a parent. When he would do that as a kid, he's a little kid. When he was little, I would ask him, I was like, "Are you blowing kisses at me? Is that what you're doing?" He'd, fart, and I'd be like, "Oh, you blew me a kiss, ha ha ha," right? And so it became this thing where I'd go, "Baby, I have a kiss for you," and then, yeah, butt kisses. Anyway. Collect myself back here. I'm sitting here, inviting my guides to these sessions when we do Bhakti Bites or Tiny Yoga. When I teach class, I invite my guides to class. We don't usually make fart jokes when I'm sitting with my guides, but that doesn't mean that they don't make fart jokes, so. It's hilarious and informative. Yeah. That's kind of like the nature of my content, I think. Hilarious and informative. Yes, they're kisses. We blow kisses to one another. And there he is. There's the kiss blower himself. Okay, my friends, I love you so much. I am going to go. It's Saturday, so I will not see you again until Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. That is noon for you East Coasters. And do all the things. Subscribe on here. Join me for the Subscriber Only Live. Get that month free at Move With Change. Go download the app, Fit by Wix, for Move With Change. Search for Move With Change and become a member over there so you can stay updated on everything. Go join the Sangha, Kaya Sangha, over on Move With Change. Thank you, Tripstar. And if you want to just straight up join and not subscribe here, I can also send you the same coupon for the code for a month free anyway. And then come January, you will be in the fold. And all of the classes and all of the big events. I'm going to put on my chakra workshop again next year as well. There will be more stuff added, even more, over at Move With Change. So come get in the fun. Come join in the fun. Tripstar, thank you for the subscription. And again, if you guys subscribe here, you get that astrology stuff, which I'm not right now doing over in the Sangha, over at Move With Change. Whoop, whoop. Welcome, welcome. Blessings to everybody. And remember, if you have any questions about any of this, feel free to just send me a message. If you don't agree with some of these things and want to have a discussion with me about them, I welcome that. Let's go ahead, send me a message. If you want to creep on me and check me out all over the internet places, movewithchange.com and YouTube are the two best places to find me and all of the information about me. All right, guys. I love you. Great meeting you too, Tripstar. Welcome to the team. Welcome into the fold. Prepare for shenanigans. Okay, I love you guys. I'm gonna go make breakfast. Funny, but creepy. Yeah, a little bit. Yes, that is. Don't be creepy. It's okay. Some people like to be creepy. I have moments where I like to be creepy too. My kid doesn't like them. He doesn't think I'm funny when I'm creepy, but... Now he's being creepy. He's staring at me with that like half awake staring through me sort of deal. I need to go. I think he's possessed. I love you guys so much. Have a wonderful Saturday and a wonderful Sunday. Do not forget your Vishuda Mudra. If you need your Vishuda Mudra, remember that it relieves tension in your neck and shoulders. It opens up your channels of communication. It opens up your receptivity to communication, and it helps balance the thyroid, and it helps soothe your voice. You can use it in meditation, and you can use it in the moment, in an acute situation. So if you're struggling to communicate, if you're struggling to say something, or you're struggling to hear somebody, use your Vishuda Mudra. Okay? So here's your Vishuda Mudra. Hands back to back. Interlace the tips of those fingers. Fold your hands over those fingers. And then create 2 interlocking circles by connecting your pointer finger and your thumb. This is the Vishuda Mudra and is held right here at the throat. Anytime you need it, just fold your hands up and enjoy. Okay. I love you. I will see you guys on Tuesday morning.